all of you for this media briefing about the highlights of the budget for Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Friends, as you know, this has been one of the very important focus of attention of Government of India for the past few years. The fact that this ministry has got a big bonanza, I would say, of starting 740 residential schools, which would compete in terms of the quality with the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, shows the importance that the government attaches to this sector. Friends, as you know, there are 4 references in the budget speech of Honorable Finance Minister. As you know that she has laid down 6 pillars for the budget of 2021-22. And out of these 6 pillars, pillar number 3 and 4, which is talking about inclusion and also in human resource development, there is a lot that this ministry can contribute. I will briefly go through these 4 budget paras. The first one is about the starting of Ekalavya model schools. As you know, this has been the most important flagship program of this ministry for the last few years. The budget has allowed increase of the investment per school from 20 crores to 38 crores, almost doubling the investment. And in the difficult areas, which are hilly, it has been raised to from 20 to 48 crores. So there is a more than double investment per school. So this has been done in order to ensure that these schools would in no way be less in terms of infrastructure, in terms of facilities, or in terms of quality compared to the schools like Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, which government is running. The second para is about the financial, as a part of the financial inclusion. They have brought down the margin money that is required from 25% to 15% for the ST startups. So this will give an opportunity for more ST youth to come forward and under the Stand Up India program and contribute towards the economic well-being of the country and to themselves also. Then about 1,000 crores allotment has been announced for the welfare of the tea workers, especially in the Assam and West Bengal. So this will be a new scheme which will be implemented along with the Ministry of Commerce and the state governments. So this scheme will be further devised. Then the government has announced a special central university in Ladakh. As you know, Ladakh is more than 85% tribal. In fact, it is the out of the states and UTs, this is the one which has got the highest concentration of STs anywhere in the country. So in Ladakh, there will be a central university. So this is another major step forward for the Tribal Affairs Ministry. So friends, I just wanted to briefly take you through the budgetary allocation. As you know, this time the budget allocation has been the highest ever, 7,524 crores, which means an increase of almost 1/3, more than 1/3 compared to the RE of 2021. Even if you compare with the BE figures, there has been a very steady growth in the last 5 years. I have mentioned it in this note. So there has been a steady growth, and which is welcome. From when we talk about 2017-18, we had an investment of 5,329 crores, and that has actually now gone up to 7,524 crores, which is an increase of about 41%, which is probably one of the good increases that the government has given, and for the welfare of the tribals. I will dwell in little bit of detail about the Ekalavya model residential schools, because there is a specific para in the budget for this. So as you know that 740 schools have been announced in the budget speech of 2017-18, and we have started the process of opening these schools. 288 schools have been set up prior to 2017. After 1997, once the concept has been evolved, and then 300 schools have been sanctioned since 2017-18 onwards, and we are going to sanction another 152, taking the total number of the schools that will be sanctioned to 740. Our idea is that every tribal block which has got more than 50% population, 50% ST population, and in terms of the numbers, more than 20,000 STs must have a EMRS. We are also looking at the EMRS being extremely robust, not only infrastructurally, but also in terms of the academic outcomes are concerned. So, as you know, the nest has been set up here with the purpose of running these schools on a professional basis. Our attempt would be to keep on looking at these institutions to see how we can make it better, more robust, and academically more successful. So that will be the ministry's aim and attempt in the coming 1 year. As you know that the total number of students who would be benefited by the EMRS expansion would be about 3.5 lakh students, and as you know, these are all bright students who have been selected for this purpose, and then we assume that on completion of their 12th class they will be coming into higher educational institutions, and then make their way through their successful life ahead. I also wanted to state about the budgetary allocation for the ST component plan, as we call it as allocation for welfare of STs. In this year, there has been a huge increase in the allocation made under this particular scheme. As you know, this is the allocation of funds for about 41 ministries and departments in order to take up activities for the welfare of STs. So last year, compared to last year, there has been a huge increase. We have mentioned in this note also that the total allocation has now reached 78,256. It's never before this sort of a huge increase, and we thank the Ministry of Finance for this. So because the increase is more than 50% of the STC budget of the last financial year. And if you really look at it, if you disaggregate this growth, the growth has happened in the Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Food and Public Distribution, of course Tribal Affairs, and then Drinking Water and Sanitation, there has been a big increase. So, and then Department of Fertilizers, Higher Education, and Information Technology. So there has been, these are all the ministries which have got a lot to do with the tribal welfare. So our attempt would be to keep engaging with these ministries in order to ensure that this amount is spent in full and spent well for the welfare of the STs, and then there should be monitorable outcomes that will arise out of this investment. So this will be our engagement with these 41 ministries and departments. Apart from that, there has been number of provisions about the migrant workers and laborers. We have mentioned in this note because we have gathered a large number of people who are migrating are actually tribals. So this One Nation, One Ration card, and then the portal that migrant workers National Migration Support Portal will all help the tribals who are actually moving for better employment outside. So these are some of the things that I wanted to state before you, and I would welcome any questions, any comments, suggestions, so that we can implement these programs better than ever. Thank you.
If anyone has any questions, please. Anyone?
Sir, regarding the EMRS, the increase in sanction of the money, will it have any retrospective effects as well, or will it be for future sanctions?
Yeah, I think any school which is not completed will be benefited by this, because we find that in number of schools we are not able to complete the buildings because the amount that is allocated is far below the market rates. So I'm certain that all the schools which are so far incomplete will be benefited under
How
this.
many schools are we talking about which are facing such a problem of completion, sir?
So there are out of these schools, 285 schools are fully functional.
Yes, sir.
So all the other schools, 740 minus 285 will all get this benefit
No,
certainly.
so the 300 sanctioned after
Three-
2017 and 18 announcement will also be benefited, right?
Will
sir?
be benefited, definitely, yes, absolutely.
Sir, there was this before the. There have been reviews with the Tribal Affairs Ministry where it has been pointed out during the reviews of EMRSs that many have been sanctioned in different states, even some of them dating back to the 80s, which the states never started the work due to non-availability of land. So, do you also revisit those and?
Definitely, we would certainly like to revisit, and wherever there is land is not available, we would like to see whether it can be brought to a different location. If you see out of the 59 schools, I'm talking about the earlier sanctions, usme there are 59 schools which were not functioning. Out of that, the work is happening in about 47, and 12 are actually completed, and they will be starting functioning from the next year. But wherever there is the work could not sanction because of the land, certainly that's something which would engage our attention.
Do we have the quantum of such?
Yeah,
11.
11 are the schools which are not started because for want of the land.
So do we have state breakup?
Yeah, state breakup is also there. Now we'll look.
So another important thing is that the schools, like you said, they go in for the higher education after their completion, and the girls are 50%. So are the skill development, are they getting into that vocational sort of jobs? Are they going to get jobs after that?
So many of this, as you know, many of these EMRS schools are still, many of them have not reached the 12th standard. So I think quite a few of them are in 6th, 7th, 8th itself. So wherever, when the moment they come to the 12th class, I think certainly our focus would be on how to train them for the competitive examinations, or get into apprenticeships or ITIs, because there also there's a lot of employment opportunities are there. So we will look at everything.
So with the reopening of schools, do we have any number of schools which have reopened and started functioning for tribal students, sir?
Yeah.
Reopened after the COVID, you mean?
Sir.
So you can just read out. Why don't you read out some for others? Read it.
Sir, in Andhra,
From compared to state, and also the severity of the pandemic.
So the ones that have not opened, have they also given the reasons for not opening?
Yeah,
right
this
now?
is not. There is nothing to
What
do
is
with
standard?
EMRS. There is nothing to do with EMRS. The schools in the state have not opened, so therefore they have not opened. That is for the functional schools. There are 200. We are talking about 285 functional schools.
Yeah, function schools.
The functional schools not opened would be primarily because the state government has not decided on not opening the schools when the pandemic is on. But I'm sure, I think we are really looking around, opening of schools across the country.
Also, so online education access was a big problem all through. What is the plan for, making up on whatever time has been lost in this case because of connectivity, and for the future? If there
So it is a
plan.
challenge. See, there is online education is something which everybody has tried. I think we have each state has got separate strategies they have followed. Like Andhra Pradesh has followed, Diksha groups, and then they have also started monitoring how many people are able to take benefit. And then they found that out of the 4,098 students, 4,000 students have actually participated in the online program. So there are, apps like Step App. So that many people have used. So each state has used various strategies in order to cope up with the online education. But still, I agree with you that online education cannot replace the actual classroom education, because a lot of learning happens outside the class also, between the students. So we are really looking for the reopening of the schools, and I'm certain that it will be a challenge for us to catch up and ensure that the academic standards are maintained, and that's going to be the prime challenge for us. We will face it.
So when physical classes are opening now, what is the attendance? How many students have actually come back? Do we have any?
We don't have that sort of a student-wise data, but I'm certain that people are all desperate to come back to school. That much I can tell you.
Sir, 13,000 students, sir, they regularly use Step App who had their own mobile. 38,000 students were got registered, but we have data that 13,000 students used the Step App.
States like Andhra and all that, where the connectivity is higher, may have happened more. Arunachal, I'm sure the rate will be somewhat less.
Another thing, I mean, this university in Ladakh, of course, that must be
Higher education, yeah.
But will the Ministry of Tribal Affairs have any kind of a role in this?
See, you see, central universities are all governed by the Parliament Act.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
since you mentioned setup, maybe because
no,
of
it
the
is a
tribal
facility which has been opened, which will be primarily used by the tribals. That's why we have mentioned it here. But of course, the management of it will certainly be with the ministry.
And the tea workers, in that will there be a
Tea workers, we'll have to really collaborate with the Department of Commerce, which looks at the tea estates, and then and the state governments. So this has to be something which we are treading new ground as far as that is concerned.
Sir, how many students are there enrolled in EMRSS, sir?
73,390.
As of now,
73,390.
In fact, we have a dashboard.
expansion as laid down, more than 3.15 lakh students would be benefited in this. Okay, Nanaji?
So that's okay. Thank you so much. sir,
Thank you very
for
much
your
for your time.